Tyranids are aliens race that came from outside of the galaxy. The Hive Fleet came to the galaxy, maybe just the scouts for the main Tyranid force, or running away from something much bigger. The Tyranids are the biggest threat to the Milky Way galaxy, for the Tyranids will evolve and to most weapons, and you cannot use the same poison twice on the Tyranids, for they will adapt to that poison. They will not They cannot be reasoned with, for Tyranids will not stop until all worlds in the galaxy are just dead rocks in the void. Tyranids use bioweapons. These weapons are living organisms, and they are made by the hive mind. And the weapons eat the enemy, and the weapons are symbiotic with the Tyranids, like the swords the hive lords use or the flesh borers of the Termagants. As I said, the Tyranids came from outside the galaxy. It is theorized that the Tyranids came because of an event that happened in the Horus Heresy. The Ultramarines had a mini Astronomicon in the Imperial Secundus. Imperial Secundus happened when Gilman believed that the Imperium had fallen and the Emperor was dead, and that had a mini Astronomicon that let the ships in the warp gather in Imperial Secundus. But the mini Astronomicon got blown up, and with the energy went out, the Tyranids may seen the energy and came to the galaxy early, for they will probably come anyway due to the Astronomicon's light. In 745.M41, the first Tyranic War would happen. The first Hive Fleet that would enter the Milky Way galaxy is Behemoth. This Hive Fleet started on the outside of the galaxy, in the eastern fringe, and the planet of Tyran was where the name Tyranid came from, for the Imperium first fought them there, and got the name from the planet. What made into a dead world now, with the consuming of the world. After that, the Tyranids went to Macrack, where a long way would be eating some of the other planets. The Hive Fleet Behemoth did not have a lot of splinter fleets. When it got to Macragge, the Ultramarines went to defend their home world, and Macragge had Rute Gilliman in stasis on it, so they had to defend it even harder, for if it falls, Gilliman would be dead. The Battle of Macragge brought when Calgar defended his home world from the Hive Fleet Behemoth. When he realized it would heading to Macragge. The battle went on, where the Hive Mind sent in more powerful Tyranids to fight the Ultramarines. The Hive Mind sent out Swarm Lords, who fought with Calgar in many battles. The Ultramarines suffered heavy losses, with the First Company have so many loss by the last battle in the First Tyrannic War that it almost had to begin from zero. This would be the last of the battles in the First Tyrannic War. The Hive Mind learnt from this, the First Tyrannic War of the Space Marines, and to actually not just send it after one planet. The Second Tyrannic War happened in 990-993 M41. The main Hive Fleet is Kraken. Kraken did not just go straight for one world like Behemoth did. The Hive Mind learnt that the best way. The main battles are Icarus 5, where the Imperium first seen the Gene Stealers. First seen like it was Gene Stealer uprising, but when the Hive Fleet Kraken came, they realized it needed more power to fight it. The Space Marines went to help them. A Gene Stealer code is used by the Tyranids to weaken the world before the main Hive Fleet comes. The Gene Stealers are led by a patriarch. Let the cultists have some form of brood mind, a sculpt consciousness that connects them. The Gene Stealer cults want the Hive Fleets to come to the world because they see them as the star gods. By the end of by the end, when the actual High Fleet comes, the Patriarch will kill all the cultists that come to them to protect from the Tyranids are eating their world. And the gene sealers spread to other worlds by getting aboard ships, and the cycle will begin again on a different world. Battle with Kraken is when the craft world of Iliad. The battle had the craft world of Iliad lose a lot of its population, and Iliad got turned into a craft world of ghosts. They have wraith constructs walking in this craft world. It is in this battle that they used the Avatar of Cain to fight off the Tyranids as well. And Kraken was then had splinter fleets, and the Emperor's spears lost their homeworld as well to this. Kraken had a lot more splinter fleets than Behemoth. The Third Tyranid War happened in 997 M41 to M42. The main High Fleet is Leviathan. In this, it is the biggest High Fleet so far. It comes from both sides of the galaxy and from underneath the side of the galaxy too. And Leviathan is more deadly for having learnt from the other High Fleets that came to the galaxy before. The two big battles in the Third War for Armageddon is the Octavius War and the Devastation of Baal. The Octavius War is a Tyranid war with the Orcs. The Imperium was there too, and I believe the Craft Worlders, but they're not really important. This battle happened in 999.M41. It is not fully done, but the Tyranids have won by taking out the Orc leader. The Inquisition of the Order of Xenos say that which side win would be stronger and powerful, and it would be a threat to the rest of the Imperium. The destruction, devastation of Baal is when the Leviathan went to Baal's homeworld of the Blood Angels. The Blood Angels and the successor chapters of the Blood Angels fought the Tyranids in the battle against almost getting wiped, getting destroyed. But they managed to stay alive because of Gilliman coming back and giving them the Primaris. Also, it's very interesting seeing Leviathan attacking a strong enemy instead of actually just leaving them alone, because Baal is a radioactive wasteland and they wouldn't get a lot of biomass from it, in my opinion. So I just think that was actually trying to just weaken the Imperium. The Fourth Tyranid War is the newest attack from the Tyranids. It is also ongoing. The main High Fleet is still Leviathan, and it's heading to Terra. Leviathan has splinters, just like Kraken has. Outside the main High Fleets, there are smaller High Fleets. Some of these High Fleets are very different to the main High Fleets. I will tell you of three High Fleets. The first is called Tiamat. Tiamat is making an unknown structure. It does not eat the world it is building on, and the Imperium doesn't even know what it's building. And each time they try to find out, it doesn't go so well. The second High Fleet is Kronos. This High Fleet goes after demons, and because of that, it does not get a lot of biomass from worlds. Some of the High Fleets do not eat all of the world, and it would give this to Kraken. Kraken has a lot more range weapons for its effective at killing demons. The last of the High Fleets I'm going to tell you about is High Fleet Ouroboros. It has been wiped out numerous occasions, but it keeps coming back. The first time it was by the Imperial Guard, and then it just came back in another warfront. It reminds me of Old One Eye. For Old One Eye keeps getting killed and being brought back by the Hive Fleet or the Hive Mind for some reason, instead of just making a new version, just a better version. It keeps bringing back the same one. It's very interesting for the fact that the Terrans do not actually have named characters, but they have named specimens, would be the best way. Like Old One Eye, you have the Death Leaper, You have stuff like that, but not characters. The Hive Lord is also a character, um, but they're not like Gilliman or Dante or Abaddon. They don't have personality. But the Hive fleet doesn't need that. But we do see them having personality in some of the Hive Lords, for they do get vengeful and petty at times, and they actually show some form of emotion. The Tyranids can block out the warp, and this can be seen by Psychers in the warp, and they get affected by it too. It makes all Psychers go mad. They bleed from their eyes or die. The Psychers are getting overwhelmed by the noise of the Hive Fleet. The Tyranids on the world would have creatures that are called synapses creatures. These creatures are often the leaders of the group troops. They keep the Tyranids connected to the hive mind, and for a lot of the fighting against them, a lot of them would target these creatures. If you played through Space Marine 2, you see the fact that you take out a Synax creature, it either weakens them in that game or just kills them. It just weakens them in lore. In the game, it can actually affect them and actually kill them. They actually become feral, meaning they don't actually have a hive fleet or a hive mind to guide them, and they just basically become instinctual and they will try and just eat, basically. Um, there are a lot of different types of synapse creatures. The Neurotyrant are big Tyranids that have powerful psychic powers. The Hive Mind are more Hive Tyrants are more common synapse creatures. Um, the synapse creatures lead the lesser Tyranids, like Hormagaunts and Termagants. If the Tyranids are having a hard time in battle, they'll make Tyranid warriors. They are having heavy hitting. The Tyranids adapt to the war, and if the enemy has a Titan, they will just make a Bio Titan to go to battle with it. And if the hive mind sees an enemy leader keeping the enemies fighting, they will send reapers in to kill and hinder the enemy lines. The hive mind has adapted throughout of all of its combat. It's one of the biggest threats to the Milky Way. It's not the Tau. The Tau are too insignificant. It's not Chaos, for they will burn themselves out. It's not the Necrons, for, to be honest, they will wipe themselves out because they are petty infighting. It's not the Orcs, for the Orcs will fight themselves and, well, not really pose much of a threat at the moment, even though the 11th edition is pumping them up with Gazgul wanting to fight the Emperor. It's the Tyranids, in my opinion, for they don't care and they want to just consume and eat and whatever's coming next. Because from what I can tell and understand, I think Leviathan is holding back something much worse, in the sense of the Tyranids they're not running from anything, because Leviathan is seeming to be the mouth of the Tyranids. Whatever comes up next will probably be stronger, much more powerful than Leviathan. We start to see that with the Nora Tyrants and coming and seeing them having these very interesting specimens, creatures. I want to talk about one thing, and um, it's a Norfolk, basically a giant brain bug. It has psychic powers. One of them destroyed. One of them is so big by consuming a whole craft world, and we don't know much about it. We got a name. That's it. Um, the fact that we don't know what's it doing, we don't actually know where it is. I don't believe we know the craft world that it consumed either. Um, yeah, for the most part, the Tyranids are very interesting. I actually really want to see what they do with them next, especially for the fact that they have to, you know, explain what the Tyranids are doing and how the Imperium is going to stop them from getting to Terra. For I don't think the Tyranids will be the first major faction to get to Terra since the Horus Heresy. I think it's going to be probably the Orcs or Chaos, for that has narrative sense, while Tyranids are just there. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave a comment on what you want me to talk about next. See you in the next video.